Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our weekly press briefing. My name is Nick Pasculi. I'm the County Communications Director and Chief Public Information Officer for the County of Monterey. And we're pleased that you joined us on this Wednesday afternoon, October 16th. It's been a busy couple of weeks here at the county, and not the least of which was the Piney fire that just occurred last week and is still being worked on as we speak today with CAL FIRE. And, defensible space is a very important topic that we want to talk about today because it is paying off locally. Last week, again, with some wildfires happening, not just the Piney fire, but there was also a fire off Highway 68. The land is dry and there's some dangerous conditions out there in our county. And while we're there's some very dangerous situations, there is a silver lining, and that is the defensible space and our firefighters and CAL FIRE in particular promoting this concept of defensible space. And with us today is Luis Perez from CAL FIRE. Luis, welcome to the briefing, and we look forward to learning more about why defensible space is important and what are things that people can do to help make their property ready in the event of an unfortunate fire.
Yes, thank you so much for the invitation. Defensible spaces, it's not a new concept. Defensible space has been going on for about 60 years. Defensible space has changed. Basically, what it does, it gives people the time and the opportunity for the home to resist the wildfire for a longer time. And it also protects the structure. Monterey County is blessed to have very active community. We have more fire-wise communities than other counties in the state. People are really involved. I'm very happy to work with a lot of those communities. I worked with the Cachagua community in the past. They're very concerned, they're very proactive, and we can see the results thanks to quick firefighting operations and air attack and the support from the community, being proactive, taking care of their defensible space, maintaining their trees, cleaning up their house. We had a successful result.
That's great, and we're certainly happy about that, and we certainly enjoy a great partnership with CAL FIRE. Considering that it's October, amazingly, and in 3 weeks it's going to be November, is it too late for residents in the rural areas to start creating defensible space around their property?
No, it's never too late. Together with defensible space, there are a lot of things that can be done to the homes. Home hardening, looking at your ventilations, fixing up your rain gutters, the quality of the paint in your house. Obviously, it's safer and it's probably easier to work on bigger projects during cooler weather. So no, it's not too late. This is a never-ending process that needs to continue. We need to look at our own properties, but also help out our neighbors. There are neighbors that are not aware of the danger that their property can suffer, especially in one evacuation scenario where you're not there to do anything. That's when defensible space pays dividends, when the fire engine can come and easily extinguish very low intensity flames, when the having 5 feet of clearance around the house prevents those embers to doing anything to the home. That's when all this comes into place. Statewide, there's been a big push for defensible space, and the goal for this year is 250,000 homes inspected. And I think Monterey is in a good position, and we want to continue being the leaders and putting our foot forward into showing other places how we can diminish the wildfire hazard by being proactive and creating defensible space.
Great. Thank you, Luis. Victor Guzman from KON has a question for you regarding the eucalyptus trees. Victor, why don't you go ahead and ask your question live?
Sure, sorry. I have to have two monitors going because one's recording, one's not. So my
No
apologies.
worries. No
Yeah.
worries.
But yeah, no, I just want Luis, thanks so much for this. I just wanted to check in and if you could break down some of the dangers that eucalyptus trees pose when they are either not properly maintained or whichever. I know back in Corralitos, we had a pretty significant fire. I know it's Santa Cruz County, but the big concern was eucalyptus trees. Just for I don't know, something within a eucalyptus tree itself poses more of a danger than a standard like a brush or tree. So I just wanted to see if you could break that down for us.
Well, from a firefighter point of view, any tree, any vegetation, any plant with the right amount of fire and heat will combust. Uh, Eucalyptus trees, like other plants, pine trees, for example, are very oily. So they have a quick flammability rate. Definitely in the past, they have grown in excess. That's something that we've seen in a lot of communities and aromas, for example, where people have taken matters into their own hands. I've seen firsthand how homeowners have cleared around their homes. We all want to live in beautiful areas surrounded by a forest. I feel that this is a joint effort into clearing some of those eucalyptus, of course, but they have a place in the ecosystem, and I feel that they're not more dangerous than other trees, but we need to be mindful. We need to keep doing vegetation management efforts to keep them from just growing wildly, just like defensible space tries to minimize dead vegetation, overgrown grasses. Um, the state with the homeowners need to work in collaboration to minimize the excess. That's where the problem resides.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for that response, Luis. And of course, you know, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the red flag warning that is being issued starting tomorrow. And certainly it's a clear indication that fire season is not winding down. You want to talk about the red flag warning and why people need to heed that warning?
Yes, absolutely. The red flag warning means that there's going to be higher winds, drier temperatures. This is a good opportunity for everybody to look in their surroundings, uh, have a wildfire action plan in place, like always. Even if your home it's away from a fire hazard severity zone, a very forestry area, if there's a fire and embers can fly for miles away, they can land on your rain gutter. And if the rain gutter doesn't have protection, hasn't been maintained, it can cause some damage to your home. So be mindful of this time. Um, Make sure that your house is in order. Obviously, following our recommendations on our pages. We have two pages, readyforwildfire.org, and we got fire.ca.org, where you can find a description of the steps to take. CAL FIRE always staffs all the personnel during these times in order to respond to any emergency.
Great. Thank you for that answer. And, you know, I know Victor Guzman from KON has a follow-up question, but before we get to that question, Victor, hang on just a second. Go ahead and unmute yourself. You know, one of the things during the red flag warning, we really don't want residents burning anything on their property for sure. And we also want the visitors to our area to be careful, especially if they're camping and things of that nature. Is that correct, Luis?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. This is a time to if you're gonna mow during like in the early times of the day, make sure that if you're traveling and you're hauling something that the chains are not touching the ground. be careful that if you're doing any lawn work, that there's no gasoline tanks, things of that matter left unattended. Obviously, the winds can expand the danger, and we want our visitors and the community to be safe, and just follow the precautions. By this time, I feel the California public, and especially here in Monterey, are very well educated. We have a lot of calls of concerned citizens that they invite us to take a look at their properties to see if there's something that we can advise for them to do. And I feel we're in the right. We just need to continue with your help, with the media help, to broadcast this message that it's not only a fire season, it's more of a fire year, and we can't put our guard down.
Yes, absolutely. And thanks for emphasizing that. Victor, why don't you go ahead and ask your follow-up question?
Yeah. I mean, obviously 4 years ago we had, the river, the Dolan, all these fires happening all at once. There could be I don't know if it's a misconception or would you say it's a misconception that because of all these areas, all this land had burned those 4 years ago, that we don't have to worry as much this fire season? What are your thoughts on that?
I feel that we should always be mindful. I believe that is a misconception. With you guys saw the last two winter seasons that we had with the heavy rains. That creates a lot of grass. Light, flashy fuels burn faster and even more destructively than larger fuels. So, creating that 100 feet of defensible space, it's imperative. There has been many studies where they have seen the effect of the defensible space. Monterey is blessed to have good weather, plenty of vegetation, beautiful sceneries, but we also have to take in the responsibility to manage this vegetation and to make the appropriate changes, because it's easier sometimes to replace, to limb up, to cut some trees that might be older or dry, than to have to deal with, for instance, a tree that is near the house that is consistently throwing leaves into the roof or to the gutter system. So those are the things that people need to take in advance. They can always call us. We're constantly traveling in San Benito and Monterey counties, talking to people, giving information, giving them an inspection to advise them on the things they can do to protect their properties.
Outstanding. Well, Luis, we thank you and we thank CAL FIRE for allowing you to do this for us today. This is such an important message that we can't drive home enough. And so on behalf of the County of Monterey, thank you, Luis, for your efforts and for CAL FIRE's efforts in helping us keep our county and our residents safe. So if you want to stick around in case there's a few more questions after we finish the briefing, that would be wonderful.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the invitation. And like I said, follow up our media pages, CAL FIRE BEU, where you can find all the information for all the incidents, all the planning, and all the things that CAL FIRE is doing consistently to protect the citizens of Monterey County.
Outstanding. Thank you so much. All right, moving to a different topic altogether. We have our health department on with us today, Angelina Sue, who from our health department, and she's going to talk about body art services. And as we know, body art services are very popular, but for consumers, if you're looking to get a tattoo, it's important that you are doing it safely and going to a certified organization that is been inspected and passes all the various different health requirements. And so, Angelina, thank you for being here today. And why don't you talk to us about the work the health department is doing to ensure that residents who choose to get tattoos are able to do so safely?
Yeah, hi. Thank you for having me today. I'm just going to set up my presentation. Okay. So thank you again for that introduction. My name is Angeline Shu, and I am a registered environmental health specialist with the Monterey County Environmental Health Bureau Solid Waste Management Services. We regulate and inspect a wide variety of facilities, but I'm here today to talk about body art, which includes tattooing, piercing, and permanent cosmetics such as eyebrow microblading and lip blush. My team is working toward providing a higher level of service in terms of health and safety to both the body art community and members of the public who want to receive body art services. Toward this effort, we are refining the inspection process to allow facility owners to better plan for their annual inspections, operators to anticipate deadlines for compliance, and to provide the public a practical means to know where to receive services from a compliant body art facility. One of the ways in which we are doing so is updating our list of compliant body art facilities and operators who have met the requirements of the California Safe Body Art Act by our October 4th deadline. Compliance is defined as passing the annual inspection or reinspection with no violations and payment of all fees, including late fees and penalties. The compliant list can be found on our website, the link on this slide. Facilities and operators who did not meet the deadline and subsequently returned to compliance must retain their inspection report indicating compliance, their valid permit, and/or operator card with current sticker as proof of compliance. The compliance list will be updated again after January 1st, 2025. We highly encourage the community to utilize this list when researching where to get body art done. And for any questions, the public can contact us at our team email address, swteam@countyofmonterey.gov. Thank you very much.
All right, that's terrific. Thank you for sharing that information. I got a question for you, though. I mean, obviously, there are a lot of safety requirements with body art operators, I'm sure. But, why are those important? Why are those requirements important as far as, what are some of the health impacts that people could experience if they don't go to a reputable facility?
So the purpose of doing these inspections and regulating body art facilities, our number one concern are the cross-contamination of bloodborne pathogens such as, or that can lead to diseases such as hepatitis or HIV/AIDS. So inspecting these facilities and getting them into compliance in accordance to the California Safe Body Art Act helps ensure that these pathogens do not go around infecting other people.
Terrific. And also, what are some questions if I wanted to go get a tattoo, for an example, and I go to a body art facility, what are some of the questions I should ask?
I would encourage people to ask their body art facilities and operators if they are permitted with the Monterey County Health Department and to see proof of permits or inspection reports indicating that they are compliant. Other things that I would recommend the public to ask their body art operators are whether or not they're using disposable needles, single-use disposable needles, having them open those needles and other disposable single-use items in front of them to ensure that they are sterile and haven't been used on other people, ensuring that the needles and inks or pigments that are going to be used on their bodies haven't expired, and ensuring that their body art operators are washing their hands in between different stages of the procedure, specifically setting up, tearing down their procedure area, and before they start the actual body art procedure.
Outstanding. And then, of course, obviously, we want people to go to the website. So it's important to remind folks that they can get information from the health department's webpage. And we will, if you share this slide, Angelina, we'll make sure this gets out into the public forum and to our media partners.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for being with us today. And I want to, before I jump to the next topic of vacation rental ordinances, I do want to acknowledge we do have folks from KRKC radio on with us today. And unfortunately, an icon in South County, Bill Getler, passed away a week or so ago. And we do want to send our condolences on behalf of the County of Monterey to the whole family at KRKC down in King City, because Bill was an icon in the community, very involved in Rotary, always willing to help the county in getting messaging out, in particular through the COVID period. So we did want to acknowledge you folks at KRKC. So thank you for your support. And going now to vacation rental ordinances, we have Taylor Price from our Housing and Community Development Department. And of course, this past Monday, the County Housing and Community Development Department held its very first informational webinar about the county's new vacation rental ordinance, which is now in effect in inland areas of the county. And so, Taylor, why don't you give us an update on what are the new requirements and what are the most asked questions about this new ordinance and how people comply, how they can comply with the rules? Welcome, Taylor.
Of course, thank you. And let me just share my screen really quickly. Can you all see my screen okay?
Yes, we can.
Excellent. Well, once again, hi and thank you for having me today. I'm Taylor Price, Associate Planner at County of Monterey Housing and Community Development. As mentioned, the regulations for the inland area for vacation rentals went into effect on October 14th, 2024. Regulations in the coastal zone of unincorporated Monterey County are scheduled to go into effect likely within a year. They first must be submitted and certified by the California Coastal Commission. For now, the coastal regulations are maintained in the status quo. Just briefly, a vacation rental is the use by any person of residential property for transient lodging. Vacation rental period is a 30-day consecutive calendar days or fewer. If the rental period is over 30 days, it's not considered a vacation rental. And to be a vacation rental, the property has to be a detached single-family dwelling, which can include manufactured homes and mobile homes on a permanent foundation. All other dwelling types are prohibited. There are 3 types of vacation rentals that were created as a part of the county's vacation rental ordinances. The first were homestays, which requires that they are the owner's primary residence and the owner stays in the home while it is rented. They are allowed countywide. The second is limited vacation rentals, which is the whole house rental that occurs 3 or fewer times per year. They are also allowed countywide. And finally, commercial vacation rentals, which are the whole house rental more than 3 times per year. They are allowed countywide except in the Carmel Valley residential zones. And then in the coastal area, it is proposed to be Big Sur, the Carmel Highlands, and then the Monterey, Moss Landing residential zones. All vacation rentals will be required to have a vacation rental operation license, which is renewed annually and has an initial HCD fee of $965, not including additional fees charged as a percentage. If you're a commercial vacation rental, you're also required to obtain a use permit, which will be renewed every 7 years and would have an initial HCD fee of $5,500. Operators would also have to have a transient occupancy tax registration and a business license. Both of those would be issued by the County of Monterey Treasurer Tax Collector. In the inland area, existing permitted vacation rentals must comply with the new regulations upon expiration of their current permit or 7 years, whichever is later. And then unpermitted vacation rentals in the inland area of Monterey County must comply with the new regulations by April 14th, 2025 by making an application or ceasing operations. The county has developed a process that applicants can follow, which is available in more detail on the county's vacation rental ordinances implementation page. Applicants should first confirm what type of vacation rental they would like to apply for and determine if that type of vacation rental is allowed to operate in the planning area and zoning district. Applicants should then apply for their transient occupancy tax certificate with the County of Monterey Treasurer Tax Collector. Operators then should prepare the necessary documents to submit their vacation rental operation license. Then applicants have the required documents, they can submit their license. As the final step in the process, applicants should submit a business license application to the County of Monterey Treasurer Tax Collector. And once they have received their license, they can begin operating their vacation rental. The most asked questions from the webinar, the most asked question was enforcement of the new regulations. So the county's vacation rental regulations went into effect in the inland area on October 14th, 2024, and applicants must make an application and diligently pursue their application. If an application has not been made by April 14th, 2025, the vacation rental operations must cease. If there are other potential violations occurring at the vacation rental in that interim period between October and April, including potential violations related to noise, health, life, or safety concerns by the concerned neighbors or occupants, they can file a code compliance complaint if they believe those issues are occurring. And then the county has developed an enforcement program to ensure compliance with the new regulations, along with the new required compliance from hosting platforms such as Airbnb and VRBO. The status of the ordinance in the coastal zone. So county staff has submitted the coastal zoning ordinance to the California Coastal Commission at the end of September. Staff expects the Coastal Commission to hold a hearing on the ordinance sometime early next year. The coastal zoning ordinance effective date would ultimately depend on the action taken by the Coastal Commission. There's a shorter grace period for coastal zone for unpermitted vacation rentals to come into compliance with the new regulation. And then the third question was, what if I'm already paying TOT? So if you are already paying TOT, this does not mean you have an approval from County of Monterey Housing and Community Development. You should visit the county's vacation rental ordinances implementation webpage. You can begin preparing the necessary documents. And once you have prepared all of the necessary documents, you can then submit your application for a vacation rental operation license or a use permit if you are planning on operating a commercial vacation rental. And then finally, here is the webpage that we encourage all individuals and applicants to visit. This has all of the application materials and the FAQs are posted here. And so if anyone has any questions, this is a great place to start. And thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Taylor, for that information. And the slides are fantastic. If you make sure I get those after the briefing, I can send that out with our follow-up packet to the media. I do have a question for you, though. Do we have a sense for how many vacation rental opportunities or places there are in the inland area? Is there a sense for that?
Yeah, so in the inland area, there is a cap per planning area for commercial vacation rentals. Each planning area has that cap based on the number of residential dwelling units that were identified during our environmental review process. I believe total in the county, it's around 1,000 commercial vacation rentals that could ultimately be permitted.
Okay, terrific. And obviously, Monterey County is a county that people like to visit. So this is we're being proactive in understanding that and putting some, regulations, some standards to this entire process of vacation rentals with this ordinance.
Yes, and really trying to ensure that we have kind of clear standards for applicants to follow, as well as ensuring that there is appropriate enforcement.
Terrific. Well, thank you so much, Taylor. We appreciate it, and we appreciate the hard work that the Housing and Community Development Department put into this ordinance.
Thank you.
Last up on our lineup today, we have a very important event taking place this evening. We have a educational public forum to discuss the county's budget priorities for the coming fiscal year. If you tuned into the board meeting yesterday, you heard that the county is anticipating to manage a potential deficit of about $20 million. And tonight, in a public education forum on Zoom, and it'll also be live on YouTube and Facebook, we're having an education forum, and people will have an opportunity to submit questions via Zoom in the Q&A portion of the Zoom features, as well as if those Spanish-speaking folks will be able to hear this program that we're going to put on tonight in Spanish as well. So we want to encourage folks, if they're interested to learn more about the budget priorities of our Board of Supervisors, to tune in tonight, either on our the County of Monterey YouTube channel, County of Monterey's Facebook page, or live on Zoom. Well, that concludes our briefing for October 16th. I want to thank all our guests for being here this afternoon, and we want to thank those in the media who attended as well. We look forward to seeing you back here next Wednesday with another engaging group of topics. Have a great day, everyone.